We gather with the Embassy of Rwanda in Ankara to honor the memory of the victims of the genocide against the Tutsi. In 1994, over the course of about 100 days, more than 800,000 people, mostly Tutsi, along with moderate Hutu, were killed in a planned campaign by violence, led by extremist groups. As many as 2 million Rwandans fled the country to neighboring countries such as Tanzania, Uganda, and Burundi during or immediately after the genocide. On the night of April 6, 1994, a plane carrying Rwandan president and Burundian president at the time, in a few hours, government forces and extremist militias set up roadblocks and began executing Tutsi and political opponents. The genocide ended in mid-July 1994 when the Rwandan Patriotic Front, which is a Tutsi-led rebel group headed by current President Paul Kagame, seized military control of the country. Today, the 7th of April, is recognized internationally as the International Day of Reflection on the 1994 genocide against the Tutsi in Rwanda.
Let me begin by expressing my sincere gratitude to each of you for joining the Embassy of the Republic of Rwanda and Rwanda community today as we gather in solemn remembrance of the genocide against the Tutsi, now for the 32nd time. Our ongoing theme is Remember, Unite, Renew, which calls us to honor the victims, stand in solidarity with survivors, and pay tribute to those who acted with courage to bring the genocide to an end. This occasion reminds us of our enduring responsibility to uphold remembrance, advance education, and strengthen the collective commitment to the prevention of genocide. As we continue to reflect on the genocide against the Tutsi, we are equally reminded of the urgent need to confront genocide denial and revisionism, the forces that seek to distort history, erode truth, and weaken accountability. Excellencies, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, genocide is among the gravest crimes under international law. It consists of deliberate and systematic acts committed with the intent to destroy in whole or in part a national, ethnic, racial, or religious group. This is what happened in Rwanda beginning on 7th April 1994. On that famous day, the government, using its armed forces and extremist militia, launched a well-planned and coordinated campaign of exterminating the Tutsi. In just 100 days, more than 1 million people were killed. But as we have heard from the genocide survivor, the genocide did not begin in April 1994. April 1994 was rather the tragic and inevitable culmination of decades of division, discrimination, and the systematic dehumanization of the Tutsi. The roots of the genocide against the Tutsi are traceable to colonial-era policies that institutionalized division, distorted identities, and eroded social fabric of Rwandan society. These divisions were further entrenched by political bankrupt post-independent leaders through discriminatory practices and recurring waves of violence. Even as these killings unfolded in broad daylight and on public media, they were denied, minimized, or mischaracterized as chaos, conflict, as anything but a genocide. At the United Nations, debates went on endlessly. The international community, despite warnings and clear evidence, failed to act. It failed to name the crime as it was, genocide, and failed to stop it. History will forever bear witness to that failure. The genocide was brought to an end in July 1994 when the Rwanda Patriotic Front, under the leadership of His Excellency Paul Kagame, defeated the genocide forces. In conclusion, as we commemorate the 32nd anniversary of the genocide against the Tutsi, let us reaffirm our collective responsibility to preserve the truth, reject denial, and confront hatred wherever it arises. May this day serve not only as a moment of remembrance, but also as a renewed call to action, a call to build societies grounded in dignity, justice, and our shared humanity. Let us ensure that the words "never again" are upheld, not only in memory, but in practice. I thank you for your kind attention.
His Excellency Charles Kayonga, Ambassador of the Republic of Rwanda, esteemed members of the Diplomatic Corps, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. On behalf of the Turkish government, people, and the Minister of Foreign Affairs of the Republic, I join you today in commemorating the 32nd anniversary of the 1994 genocide against the Tutsi in Rwanda. Today we commemorate, remember, and honor more than 1 million people who were brutally and systematically murdered in order to annihilate a community based solely on their ethnicity. We extend our heartfelt condolences to the survivors and the families of the victims, as well as to the people and government of the Republic of Rwanda. As much as we honor the memories of victims, it's equally important that the perpetrators are brought to justice to show the world that there is no impunity for this heinous act, so that such heinous crimes will never happen again. Honorable participants, in Rwanda, decades of hate speech and dehumanization led to unspeakable violence. Tragically, we continue to witness similar patterns in different parts of the world today. The international community must stand united against such practices in all its forms and manifestations. We must raise our voice against incitement and work together to prevent the repetition of such tragedies.
And I have the honor to relay and to read for you the message of the United Nations Secretary General Antonio Guterres for today. In just 100 days, more than 1 million people were murdered, primarily Tutsi, but also Hutu and others who opposed the genocide. Entire families were brutally erased. On the International Day of Reflection on the 1994 genocide against the Tutsi in Rwanda, we mourn the victims and honor their stolen dignity.